Welcome back, hunters. I'm the SurvivalVis, and we return to Mandibles for another hunt. And this is our first episode of Mandibles after we've gotten over that 100 subscriber milestone. Sorry, I'm still just very happy that we managed to get up there, and we're going to continue growing. But let's get into the hunt menu. So, last episode, I believe I said we were going to take a trip to the Hive to see what that was like. And I wanted to try bringing the hole puncher. We got 292 points to work with, so let's see. Ooh, yes. Ooh, look at all that we can start out with. All these goodies. Now, granted, we have hunted a lot of these, but we still have a few to see, like the... Oh, Lord, here's our little tongue tester of the first recording session of the day. The Cercolepidopteron, the Euparis, and the Gurlinura. We still have yet to see those three out of our main one. We've seen the bugbear that the Milnesium is. We still have yet to see the Graphonos, and then we have the Echolopterus we still have to actually hunt and go after. Although we're probably not going to really go after these guys as DLC animals yet. Maybe what we'll do is once we have enough points to start including them in the roster, we'll switch back to the base game so we actually go after the Manipulator and the... whatever the evil termite was. But everything looks in order. We've got the Hive all checked off, so we'll do a little read up here. Diverse cold forests and vast fields of fungi engulf an abandoned Inudulus hive in this mountainous area. Exploration of certain parts of the hive itself is permitted, but discouraged as it is easy to get lost in its labyrinthine depths. So it makes me very curious what we're going to see here, and this is for the Inudulus. So that's this guy here. And it's, I guess, sort of like the bonus animal in a way. We won't read up too much on it, because I want to save that for when we actually, have the points to go after them, but everything else is looking pretty good in total. I'm hoping soon we'll be getting our chance to try out the railgun. Ultimate defense against charging Echolopterus. You know what? Oh, it'd take a lot of points, but that sounds like just such a match made in heaven, doesn't it? The railgun actually mentions that in particular, so everything there is good. Enough rambling and ranting. You're here for a hunt, right? Let's get right into it. Okay, we're all loaded into the hive, and oh, already... I was told that the Hive was going to be a very good looking map, even just from looking around slowly right now. Yes, it is definitely a very good looking map. And, oh, that even looks incredible too, just this mini map. So, looks like there's a pretty big river that goes through the western and to the north. I think the Inudulus Hive is actually what's over to the southeast here. Because maybe there is actually almost like a cavern system you can explore. I wouldn't put it past the modding community to come up with a way of doing that, because they've done remarkable things with Carnivores. Any dedicated modding community really has been able to show that they can push games to new things you never thought possible before. I do like all the mushrooms. This is a nice change of pace from everything we've seen so far. The big bits of fungi in that around us here. This also does mean we might be in a little bit of tighter quarters, so I'm glad we have the double ammo with the double barrel. The double-double. Anybody up in Canada probably knows what that is, although I've never actually had. I'm not actually a big coffee drinker. I never really got into it. I figure if I have it, I'd probably start being twitchy and jittery a bit. I'm not even sure where I want to start. Like, there's so much around here. I don't know where to really go to begin with it, but it is quite interesting, isn't it? Oh, what do we got over there? Oh, a Stenodictia. The little hover bug. So that's that should be a fairly good way to start off with a hunt. Just one nice shot should take it down. There we go. Missed the first one. Mouse control or sensitivity just feels a little bit different, but I guess that's also because my setup has changed just slightly. Anybody who saw our 100 subscriber milestone video and even watched Slime Rancher this Sunday will probably know that we've started trying to add face cam to some videos. Carnivores, because it's a hunting sim, I don't know if I will put a face cam or not. That and also there is some possible technical issues that may arise using it, so... Carnivores, here's the weird way how Carnivores runs. It'll load up one instance that is the application, where you kind of choose all your settings and your weapons, animals. What was that? Okay, you choose your settings, your animals, your weapons, and then it'll load up a secondary window that is the render of the game to actually play. Now, that kind of does a little bit of a few wonky things to the resolution for your monitors. Because I think it, like, scales down, then back up your monitor towards what the menu and then the actual game render is. It's basically just... Oh god, why do new ambient sounds always get me on edge? It kind of makes it hard to actually track if you could do a face cam proper or not. I may be able to do something like layer over the face cam not captured with. I'll tinker with it as the days go along, but for the first little while, I think we're just going to save the face cam for some of the other series where it's not quite as important to have the full view of the entire screen like we see here. So things like Slime Rancher, Rafts, Nautica, those ones I think would be good to include the face cam because you don't need the entire screen as much as you would on a game like this, where you're trying to get the best field of view you can for anything that may be around you. And also just take in the sights, because I gotta say, this is still a gorgeous area. Not just Hylonymous there. But this may be the last DLC... Well, actually, it depends on the points we get, but this may be the last DLC episode before we switch back over to the regular animals. I was just, again, hoping we could have showed off all of the ones that we had unlocked up to now. Or, you know what, we may even just keep on going with it until we do show off the ones we have. We have a lot of points we need to work at getting up to, so... It doesn't hurt to do a little bit of farming, trying to show off some more of the interesting DLC animals, and just all of the great work that's gone into the mod. Like, you can see that Mandibles is a sequel and successor to Triassic that we've done on the channel, just because the maps are much more smooth, filled with life, and feel full. The animal models in that have improved, and just incredible what they've been able to accomplish with it. You really have to give it to... I hope I'm saying it right. P.Rex, or... I know its short form is P.Rex, but yeah, I kind of want to be a little more formal and give proper credit where it's due for just the amazing amount of work and just what they've been able to pull off with the game. Like, I don't even know how old the series is exactly, or the engine they used, but it's still... It'll draw you right in and make you feel like you are in and a part of it. The only thing I may have to figure out is if there's a way I can render videos so that way they're in a little bit better quality as they come out. I'm fighting the YouTube compression a little bit, but I think it's mostly, or it's more trying to figure out the best render settings to let Carnivores just kind of shine on its own. Because for being an older game, I'm surprised that it renders out kind of poorly as it does. Whenever I try mostly rendering it out, I got a lot of pixelation in just the foreground. I shouldn't say foreground, but more kind of like the horizon, where everything was really blurred and hard to see, where I can see it very clear and fine in-game, so... I'll have to do some tinkering with that. Maybe there's just a certain setting I have to try adjusting, but either way, we'll try to improve upon that, so that way it's not too bad on the eyes, and let you guys be able to take in just the amazing work that's been done. Like, the textures, as much as it is an older game, it's still... I think it's almost something... Timeless classic is probably how I describe it. And if you think of a game like Doom, where it still has that certain artistic styling that just persists, that's what they've definitely managed to capture with Mandibles, is... Oh, Diplocalus doing a little bit of mountain climbing. Is that they've captured that timeless classic feel of it, that no matter when you do, it just feels like its own world and you're immersed with it. Although, we're not exactly seeing much around here, are we? But there is something right to the south that's a little peculiar on the map. So maybe we'll try going down that way and see what we can find. And another thing that I will bring up is, I'm probably going to avoid using the radar in the game as much as possible. Some people, I think, prefer the idea of just being able to quickly find what they're after, go take your shots, and claim it. I prefer more the actual hunting experience of going out in the field, exploring, trekking around, and then sometimes just really stumbling upon what you're after. If I did want to be a little more active in hunting, I probably should do an episode that's a little more active, where I'm actually calling and being a little more focused upon getting the animals. Right now, though, I've just been enjoying kind of a leisurely pace and being able to see the map with you guys, because this is the first time I've been on the Hive, and it is quite the sight to see. So, oh, is there something over there? Maybe. They were saying there's that in Nautilus Hive or something, so I wonder if maybe we can find a way, a way to that. Because that does look like a bit of a labyrinth system. It's just how would you get to there proper? Unfortunately, that's one issue with the Carnivores map, is that sometimes it's hard to ooh, hello, what do we got there? Oh, that's one we've been looking for. That's the Sericillopterodon. Or Sericillopterodon. I'm going to have to get closer to be able to see what the exact wording is, or the... yeah, Sericillopterodon. Well, that is our really interesting animal that I want to try to get close enough to show you guys, because this is where you can really see just the ability of the mod developer in depth. Let's try a shot and see. They actually managed to make a flying insect. Oh, shot the mushroom. Shot another mushroom. They actually made a flying insect that will walk around the ground, and then to flee will actually take flight and go along. Now, granted, it is probably just a little change of the animation cycle, so again, it's not like it's flying very quickly away from us. What the... okay, maybe the mushrooms have a little bit of a larger hitbox than I thought they did, but we'll quickly stay on its tail and try to get those shots in on it. But yeah, that is... I just have to give it so much to the guys who managed to think and implement this. Like, I love that out-of-the-box thinking, and I think that is probably the #1 thing to keep and add longevity and a player base to your game, is if you can somehow find a way to make modding accessible and open. Because it lets people put their own personal spin into a game. It lets them customize, interact, engage in so many more ways than you realize. Now, I don't think Carnivores was exactly mod-friendly, but I think it was programmed in a way that made it a little easier to be accessed than a few others. Because I think it's a lot more direct with understanding how it kind of calls the certain files and objects into the games to be used. Like, prime example is for the DLC animals. You can find the file names exactly of what ones are called in, and then kind of pulled into the render to be shown off in it. Think of it sort of like a fetching system, where to find this mushroom and place it, there's like a little bit of data that says, use this file here in this location here. And then it goes, grabs that, and that's what you see as is. It's sort of like a straightforward layout of being able to navigate through a file's systems and that to locate exactly what the game's using for it. It's where you have it more kind of... I was trying to figure out the best word for it, but it's almost like it's hidden and filed away in a large mega file that's a different kind of formatting to it. Like some games have it so that way everything is compiled into a single file that includes a bunch of other stuff. I can't really say I speak with a lot of experience behind it, but it just felt like even when I was going through some of the files for the Mandibles mod and even base Carnivores, you can kind of get an idea of the layout of where certain things are in it a lot easier. And the files aren't these odd... well, there might be a few odd file types that you can't really read directly, but you can understand that this is in the animations, or this is data for what the stats are, etc. Kind of like that, in a way. There was that ambient sound again, although it's very... maybe it's a rare one. But no, I'm trying to figure out where did we lose that Cercolepidoptera. God, I'm gonna break my tongue trying to remember and say some of these names with how they are. Maybe we'll try calling it. Show off that we can be a little bit more of an active hunter. Okay, I think it's up this way, and the blood trail is backing that up, but oh, maybe this is where we lost it. It might have actually gone up the mountain. Oh, no, it didn't go up the mountain. We'll crouch down and just kind of... I was going to say we'll skirt the edge if we can. No. Yeah, it climbed on us. That would explain why we lost track of it. Okay, so climbed up this way from looks of it. I hear the Archimolacris, but don't really see anything else. Okay, so there's... yeah, here's more blood trail. So we're sort of fresh on its tail. We've got, what, 1, 2... looks like 4 shots left that we could use. It might be just right over one of these ridges, too, so we'll have to be careful. I may even... uh-oh. Ah, oh, shoot. That Adalia, and I gotta give it to it, it managed to get the jump on us. But we'll exit the area. And that was our first little journey into the Hive. So as you can see, we almost had the Cercolepidopteron. I think that's as close as I'll ever be able to get to it, but we almost had it. We just were a little short in our aim. We hit a couple... I think the mushrooms might have a little bit of a different hitbox than I was thinking they would, but that's okay. We'll just figure out, work more in the Hive and figure that out. But I think that was the very first successful journey into the Hive to kind of see what it's like, and just really, really well done. The comments saying that it was a gorgeous map, they were spot on. That is a brilliant addition to the game. Or, well, I guess to the mod, not just the mod, but like the entire mod community and mods out there. And it's just, oh, it was just amazing to get to see, and I'm very excited to go into the next one, or the next episode next week, but I have a few other Carnivore series to start recording for this week. We have a little trip to the, what are they? Cinco de las Muertes? They're the 5 deaths for Jurassic Park Revolution, and then we also have Far North to carry on with, where it's going after the Hell Pig, I believe. We've really got a lot of kind of macabre and grim-sounding stuff to go to, don't we? But we'll get to those in time. In the meantime, thank you guys very much for joining me on another episode of Mandibles. If you do like the series or content, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. I'm always open to include you guys with feedback and in the series I do in any way, shape, and form possible. Until I see you all in the next episode or the next hunt, please remember to take care and stay alive.